Do you know what it means when we have a weekend off in Supercross? Well, outside of boredom for all the fans on a Saturday night, it means we get riders returning from injury at the next round. Let's find out who's coming back at Birmingham in this week's rider status video. Welcome to the Always Moto weekly rider status video, brought to you by TechnicMotorsport.com, your one-stop online suspension shop. I'm your host, David Hogan, the physical therapist who knows the injuries and fitness needs of our sport of supermotocross. Let's get to the status updates for this week's round of Monster Energy AMA Supercross. Let's dive into the injuries first before we talk about the positive news of returning riders. Preston Bowesflug is out of action for the foreseeable future after a tib-fib fracture in Indianapolis. He's had surgery on that leg and he's on the mend, but he's likely out of action for anywhere around that 3 to 5 month mark. Jet Reynolds on that Club MX Yamaha, he's had a midweek crash and he's fractured a leg. Now he's had surgery and he's also on the mend, but he is now out for Supercross. There's no word on Joey Savacci's status following Birmingham. A broken rib and a punctured lung in that over-the-bars crash might see him miss a week or two, but he might also ride this weekend. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to confirm either way whether he's in or out for this weekend, but the main issues for Joey if he does try to ride will be pain from that broken rib and if he has a full capacity back with his lung. He might be able to struggle through, but he might find himself short of breath and fatigue a bit quicker than he usually would in the main event. Hopefully, Joey will be back on track very soon. Let's get to that return news. It's been almost 6 months since we've seen Christian Craig at his last race, when his night ended early in Las Vegas at the Supermotocross final. A dab of the foot resulted in an ACL and meniscus injury. Despite being back on the bike early after his surgery, he was back in December and back on Supercross by mid-December. Christian hasn't returned to racing until now, mid-March. I'm interested to see how Christian goes on his return to the track from that injury, but also with his new bike / new old team, Star Racing Yamaha. Let's see how Christian does this weekend in Birmingham. Gage Linville will be back for Birmingham after dislocating his finger in Daytona. That finger caused him to miss that showdown round in Indianapolis. If you haven't heard our catch up with Gage on the Always Moto podcast, find that on your favorite podcast player and check out the full interview. Another ACL return, this time it's the remote working privateer Josh Cartwright. He tore his ACL, MCL and meniscus in Canada in June in 2024. He had surgery a little bit delayed in July 2024, and he's making a one-off return to racing this weekend in Birmingham. He'll look to be back on the series full-time in 2026 when he can put a full program together to support his racing. But good to see him back on track for this year, even if it is only for one round. Who knows, maybe he finds enough money around to do another round or two. But as of right now, that's our rider status updates for this week at the time of recording. Rider statuses can change quickly in our sport, so make sure you stay up to date by following us on our social pages. Don't miss our next video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and leave a comment if you have any questions. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you at the track.